All right, welcome guys, one and all. This is Carlos, CEO of GAR Capital. Just wanted to say good evening to all. It's 10:39 p.m. here on the East Coast. A little issue with our OBS recording system last night. I have solved the problem, got an update, so back on the scene, back recording great videos. I haven't had much demand on the videos, but I definitely wanted to bring up our trades currently and where the market sentiment is. So there's a couple things that I wanted to go over with everybody. And if you are watching this video, thank you very much for being a client of ours, a member. I appreciate everyone joining us and joining me in this journey to make profit in the Forex markets. So again, I just want to extend a special thanks to all of our members. We appreciate you very much. And of course, if there's anything that we can improve on, anything you would like to change or anything you want us to do, more videos, articles, please let us know through email, garcapital@gmail.com. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I'm currently working on two computers. I have a MacBook Air in front of me, and I'm currently working on my iMac. So I have two computers working. This is the easiest way to get stuff done. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go over our current trades. We have a couple of positions open. Obviously, as you know, we trade on bias and analysis, fundamental and technical, depending on what we're looking at. So right now we have about 3 positions open on pound dollar. We had a little bit of a flash crash yesterday, so I want to take a look at that in our 4-hour chart. You could see here, actually, no, let's bring it up in an hour. So this is pound dollar. And you saw the flash crash here as low as hit 121. We broke 121, round to 120.90, and we added a position, short position. We were short at 122.51, which were in the green on that trade. We are now break even. Actually, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. We have another position of 121.47. So let's go ahead and mark those positions currently. So 120.90 is right below. We were expecting a squeeze, and then 121.47 right here is the next level, and then the other level we had, our entry, was 122.51. That's right about here. A couple things I want to talk about the pound dollar. We all know Carney runs the show at the Bank of England. We all know the issues with Brexit. We know exactly what to expect and what may happen. You know, this is an hourly chart, and we always trade hourly, 4 hours, and daily. Since we're swing traders, we're always looking for the long-term play. As you can see here on the hourly, other than the break here around 121.48, 141.50, we had a little bit of a bounce back right around the range of 122. We moved our stop loss all the way to 124. So let's go and bring that up on a 4-hour chart. 124 seems to be a little higher of a ceiling than where we expect it to go. We expect that to be the higher upper resistance here. We don't expect that to be hit whatsoever. We already can see here with the lows, even on the daily, since the Brexit vote, on 148, we're hitting new lows, decade lows. I do believe we are going to break 120 into the 119 range. That will happen sooner rather than later. Why do I think that? I do believe the BOE, Bank of England, is still dovish, saying that they may have added stimulus and inflation numbers as well, not going in line with what they're expecting. I do believe that the Brexit vote has been finished, but it hasn't been implemented yet. So we haven't had any implementation of the Brexit vote. So what does that mean for pound dollar? What that tells you is unknown is always bad. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't see a reason why the pound would get stronger against the dollar. The dollar is still the reserve currency in the world, and I do want to put that against as a hedge on any kind of global issues or global macroeconomic issues. the pound has still been the worst performing currency in 2016, with Japanese yen being the best performing. The pound dollar has been performing very well on the short side for the short sellers. We do believe that it still will continue to the downside. I mean, the trend is your friend. It's not really rocket science here, guys. We have to trade what we see in front of us, just like anything else. We trade here naked charts. There is no Bollinger Bands. There's no any special kind of bands. Trade what you see is price action. If you see here on a daily chart, exactly what I see, you're seeing lower lows and lower highs. 4-hour chart, same thing. We're also just getting a little bit of a range bound. We're range bound here around 121 and 122. And if we go to more of the hour chart, you can see now we're right between 122.60 and right around 121.46. So about 100 pip range on pound dollar. The volatility has definitely hit, but I do believe that we will get back to around 120, 150 by the end of the week, and we'll still continue to the downside as we hit these levels on the 17th. So this was about, a couple of days ago. This was about 9 days ago. We already hit the levels of our 121. So I do believe that we will get more of the downside, as even during the Asian market, the pound dollar has subsided back down to 122. We did hit a high of around 122.44. I don't see it anywhere getting near 123. So we did increase our stop loss just for that reason, to make sure that we still have a little bit of room to roam. So again, pound dollar, even though we have 3 positions, I still believe that we're in a short position and we're still set up nicely. It just will take a little bit more time, as that our target is around 117. Will that target be hit right away? No. But it will take some time to get there, and I do believe we will hit it for a nice gain in profit. The next trade we have is dollar yen. Now, I've gotten questions in regards to we're short dollar yen, by the way. If you're short pound dollar, why would you be short dollar yen? Why would you be short dollar? Would that be against the bias? The bias is important, but I think what's most important is 2 factors. The strength of currencies, strength to weakest. You want to make that kind of currency chart where what is the weakest and what is the strongest. You always want to pair weak and strong. So, like I said, the Japanese yen is the strongest currency this year in 2016. Why would we go against the dollar? It's been right in the middle, probably the 3rd or 4th best performing currency this year. Probably 3rd, if anything. With I think second best has been the Aussie dollar, performing in Forex. So you're probably saying to yourself, Carlos, why would I short this? Easily. I'm looking at the chart right here, daily chart. We're getting a little bit of a range bound here. We're at 104, 102, probably 100, 104. I don't see hitting 105 or 106 anytime soon. But you do see here to the downside. I do see it bouncing maybe to 104.60 at the highest, but then it will bounce back down. I do believe we're going to get back down to around a 102 by the end of the month. That's where we're range bound, but it has been increasing here in the daily. But again, not as much to make a difference where we expect it to go up. But you do see here, we do have a rise back in September, beginning of October, and it has bumped up about 400 pips. So dollar yen has been the play, especially with the Federal Reserve. Dollar yen is one of the most highly traded currency swaps or currency pairs in the world, other than euro dollar. So dollar yen is more of a play on, risk off. Risk off meaning when things are doing pretty bad and everyone's getting a little fear in there, stock market, what have you, dollar yen drops. When things are more confident, dollar yen rises. Don't think that the election doesn't influence this, because it does. I do believe if Hillary Clinton does win the White House, it just shows a risk on move, meaning it's more likely to take risk. Now everything's going to be pretty much set what we have with Barack Obama, the same elections. Again, regardless of your political affiliation, these are facts, and this is sentiment by Wall Street. If Donald Trump wins the election, again, I do believe gold will rise, because fear will set in, because he's a little more of a wild card factor. We don't know what policies may have regarding to monetary policy. We don't know what to expect. So again, it's something I do think that Donald Trump winning election would be kind of a Brexit effect in markets. Would it be sustained long term? I don't think so, but it will show some kind of big move, and I think dollar yen would be a part of it. So why are we shorting it? Okay, so you already saw the daily chart. For the most part, we're a long-term play on the short side. That's what we're expecting. On the 4-hour chart, I do see that it's already tapering off here around 104.60, 104.50. I see more to the downside. We had a break in resistance here at 104. I do see it coming back to the downside is my expectation. Back down to 101, right around 100, 101. We were shorts here around 103. So we still have a lot more to go on a 4-hour chart. I do see that we can maybe close this trade, or maybe around mid-November. It will not trade we will not close it this month, and it will not hit our books for this month. On the hourly chart, you can see here as well, a little bit of a break. This pattern here is already broken, 104. We can expect it to the downside to go back to around 103. Right around the 19th of October, we were around 103, which would get us back down to our break-even mark. So we're a little bit down now, but again, was what to be expected in the markets. We don't trade short-term, we trade long-term like institutions. CAD yen. CAD yen, we are short CAD yen because we're expecting a weaker oil market. I don't think WTI will be set in stone at 150. At $50 a barrel. So what I want to do here is compare oil to dollar yen. So let's go ahead and set that up here. WTI crude oil here, futures. And you can see how crude oil has sank just in the 1-hour chart. And you can see the correlation here with the Canadian dollar. As it rose, we had a rise as well. That's the expectation on Canadian dollar. That's why we're short Canadian dollar against that trade. And we're expecting it to go down more as well. Oil is down since this chart around 3.5%. We had a little bit of a rise lately, but $50 a barrel is just not going to be sustained. Right now, US oil is trading around 49.14 as of that date. 50.88 was at our peak. Our peak around the 19th was around 51.85. 51.85 now to 49.14. So again, oil has been just trying to find a place of a set in stone of where would it be comfortable for oil to be. I do believe that around 45, 43 seems like a legitimate number set for barrel of oil in the futures markets. Now, if we look at a 4-hour chart, we can see how oil rose, but yet the Canadian dollar has not found the benefit of a rising oil market. But if it goes down, it has been affected. Canadian economists have shown that maybe Canadian central banker Paulos is thinking maybe adding more stimulus. We're expecting more PMI numbers and more inflationary data. So with that being said, Canadian dollar is something that we do want to see for the long term to be down on the short side. And with that being said, we're going to continue on to the Euro Canadian dollar. We were long Euro Canadian dollar. With that being said, we do expect the euro to bounce back a little bit against the Canadian dollar. We're going to go ahead and take away this comparison. And we do see here on a 4-hour chart, we've already hit the bottom of 43.50. We're rising quite a bit. I want to take a look at the daily chart. And we're basing on the daily charts. Looks like 148 seems to be the next hit on the daily, right around resistance. So I would love it to hit 148, as our goal is actually 149, but we could definitely take profits there. We got in at 145.50. We are 40 pips up on that trade, and we're still expecting a little more. Definitely a bullish rise on Euro Canadian dollar as we hit the lows of 42.80. We got in at 145.50, expecting it to rise. New Zealand Canadian dollar. We expected the Kiwi to get hit. The Kiwi Canadian dollar is our hedge against any kind of Canadian dollar rise, as we are on the short side of this pair. We expect the Kiwi to be weaker, but again, this trade has not gone our way. As you can see on the bullish side on the daily, we have broke resistance. 95.80 is the trade. We got in around 93.11, so we're a bit off there. 96.70 is our stop loss. Has not gone for us, but I do believe that we will pick up a little bit of steam as the Kiwi will be weaker than the Canadian dollar for the long term. And I do expect a rate cut from the RBNZ in the near future. Aussie Kiwi. Again, we are long Aussie against the Kiwi as we expect the Kiwi to be the weaker play of these markets, the weaker currency of these markets. We have a long way to go from the high of 112.48 back in the second quarter of the year. We're at 106.47 on the daily. Looks like we've already hit resistance, but on the 4-hour chart, we're still on a bullish trend to the upside. We're expecting to continue that trend all around. We have a long way to go, especially on the daily. But again, trend is your friend. We don't expect it to be hitting anywhere below 106 in the near term. We got in at 107. We're about 36 pips off our entry on the downside, but we're still expecting to make a little more. Aussie US dollar. We got in short on Aussie US dollar 75.23, and I believe we got in again at 76.55. We are now on the green, about 20 pips, 25 pips on one position, and still have about 100 pips to way to go to make break even on the second position. So 75.23 is right around here. We're expecting the downside. That PMI number, that hit inflationary number, really boosted the Aussie, but yet fell right back down to earth. As you can see, we had the pop and back down to earth on the 4-hour. Let's check the 1-hour charts. You can kind of see that we already kind of hit a peak on an hourly. Still expecting it to the downside. We still have a long way to go with 75.20. But again, the big rise. But again, I'm starting to see a little bit of a drag here. So that's why we are short position on Aussie dollar. We're expecting a little more of a dollar pull. So I do expect that the Japanese yen will be the strongest currency. Go back to the strength, especially with a little more of a risk-off move in the markets as we hit the fall. We also expect the US dollar to strengthen as well. It'll probably be the second or third strongest currency around. And we expect the Kiwi to be the worst, and we expect the Canadian dollar to be the second worst. So we always want to list what is the strongest, weakest, and base our bias on that, on fundamentals and technicals. That's the best bet. So again, we're on Wednesday night, so let's go ahead and continue to Thursday. We got preliminary GDP numbers for the British pound at 4:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. That'll be a big number with forecasts of 0.3% on the pound. We can look into that information as our pound dollar shorts are affected with this pair. If we get a miss on GDP, you better believe the pound will be sold off quickly. So keep in mind on your trades, set your alarm for that one. We will speak about that as well. Friday, not much going on other than the advanced GDP on the US dollar. On the United States. 2.5 is the forecast. Our previous number was 1.4. Third quarters tend to be a little better than the second quarter and the first quarters. So the last report was 1.2. The forecast was 2.6. We definitely missed that. We've missed the last 5 GDP numbers. The dollar has still strengthened against it. So I don't see it as a huge catalyst long term, but I do see it as a catalyst short term. So beware of your positions on Friday. If we do meet, off to the races. If we miss, we'll get a little bit of a movement, but not to the point of no return. It'll help our dollar yen position. It'll hurt our pound dollar position unless the GDP and the dollar pound misses. But that's where their expectation is. So we still are bullish on the dollar, but expecting the dollar yen to offset that with a stronger yen all around. You can see here, pound yen is lower, 42 pips at the moment. So again, guys, these are some of our positions that we're showing at the moment. I know it's a lot of positions, but again, guys, we're positioning long term. Long term is the key. Good trading is boring trading. At the end of the day, we're not expecting fireworks at all. But we want to make sure that we're positioned correctly, have a little bit of hedge here and there, and just keep a look at the charts and still read the news. The news is very important. The charts are very important. Make sure they are married to each other side by side, as it is imperative that you as a trader do your research, do your homework, and make sure that your positions are always 1% risk and always set up your stop losses according to plan. And if you don't, again, you're just gambling. And we don't want to gamble here, guys. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Let's go ahead and check again on dollar pound, see where we're at currently. And we're still dropping down to the downside, 122.10. We should break 121 here in a little bit. I do expect an overnight accelerated loss. If we get a miss on pound on British GDP, off to the races. I do see 121 coming. I don't want to add a position here. We already have 3. I think 3 is enough. I think we're set where we are. I like where our positions are, but again, I don't want to add any more risk when it's not necessary. So that's where we are currently. That's our trades at the moment. That's where we are currently. I appreciate everyone for joining us. Of course, this is Carlos, CEO of GAR Capital. If you like, I can definitely make more videos. I haven't had much demand on the videos, so for the most part, what we speak about in our chat room is something we speak about on a daily basis. We talk analysis, we talk news, we talk some charts. But videos haven't been much relevant in regards to client wanting. I love to make the videos, of course, and I love to definitely let everyone know what we're looking at. But for the most part, if it's not necessary and not wanted, I guess there's no need to. And the articles as well. But again, most of our news and most of our information is given through the chat rooms. So again, make sure, guys, if you have any questions, to email me directly, garcapital@gmail.com, or to go ahead and message me on any one of our chats, WhatsApp, or our GroupMe chats. I appreciate everyone's time. I hope everyone has a great night. Sleep well tonight. We're going to be up in the morning at 4 a.m. and we're going to talk GDP for England, excuse me. So with that being said, everyone have an amazing night. Thank you very much for joining me, taking time out of your day. This will be posted on the website tonight, and that our website is garcapitalfx.com. Have a great night all. We'll see you next time.